The Eternal Vow, a Haunted Love Story, Uwa 2,000 words. Chapter 1, The Proposal. The summer of 1972 was golden in the small Virginia town of Ashwood. The air was heavy with the smell of pine and freshly cut grass, and the evenings carried the melody of crickets by the riverbank. Evelyn Harper, a 22-year-old woman with raven black hair and gentle gray eyes, often walked by the Ashwood River with Daniel Ward, her childhood friend turned sweetheart. They had known each other since they were children running barefoot through fields, and their friendship had blossomed into a deep, unshakable love. One evening, as the sun dipped low, Daniel led Evelyn beneath the enormous oak tree that stood on the river's edge. Its branches stretched like arms toward the sky, and it had always been their secret place. Daniel's hands trembled as he reached into his pocket. "Evelyn," he whispered, his voice full of emotion, "I can't imagine a life without you. You're my first thought in the morning, my last thought at night. Marry me, promise me forever." Tears welled in Evelyn's eyes. She nodded, her voice breaking. "Yes, Daniel, forever." He slid a silver ring onto her finger. The river shimmered with twilight, and the oak tree bore silent witness to their vow. Chapter 2, The Wedding That Never Came. Their wedding was planned for late October. Evelyn's dress was ready, lace and satin, delicate and timeless. The church was decorated, friends and family waiting for the happiest day of their lives. But the night before the rehearsal, the rain came. Heavy sheets of water pounded the earth, and the wind howled through the trees. Daniel, determined to finalize a few last errands, drove out despite Evelyn begging him to wait until morning. Hours passed. Evelyn waited by the window, her heart uneasy. The phone rang. A trembling voice on the other end delivered the news that shattered her world. Daniel's car had skidded off the wet road near the river bend. It crashed through the guardrail and plunged into the dark waters below. They pulled him out hours later, cold, still, lifeless. Evelyn collapsed in grief. The silver ring she had worn proudly only days before now burned against her skin like a cruel reminder. At Daniel's funeral, she wore her wedding dress. People whispered as she walked down the church aisle, veil covering her pale, tear-streaked face. She placed white roses on his coffin and whispered, "I said forever, Daniel. I'll never stop waiting." Chapter 3, The Bride by the River. In the years that followed, Evelyn became a ghost of herself, alive but hollow. She wandered the town in quiet grief, often seen carrying wildflowers to the oak tree by the river. "Promise me forever," she would whisper to the empty air, her voice trembling with longing. Children told stories of the Bride of Ashwood, the sorrowful woman in white who appeared by the riverbank on stormy nights. Some swore they saw her standing beneath the oak tree, her dress soaked, her face pale as moonlight. One winter night, years later, Evelyn's body was found beneath the oak tree. Her wedding gown clung to her thin frame, frozen stiff. In her hand was Daniel's silver ring, though it had been buried with him. The townsfolk buried her beside Daniel, but her story did not end there. Chapter 4, The Haunting of Lovers. Couples who strolled by the river after dark began to tell strange tales. Whispers carried on the wind, soft and sweet, but chilling. "Promise me forever." A few swore they saw Evelyn and Daniel beneath the oak tree, holding hands, their faces turned toward the water. But their eyes were wrong, too hollow, too dark, their smiles stretching unnaturally wide. One young couple, Mark and Lila, dared to kiss beneath the oak. As their lips met, the air grew icy cold, their breath visible though it was midsummer. Suddenly Lila gasped. Behind Mark's reflection in the water stood a pale bride, her veil trailing into the current. Lila screamed. Mark turned, but no one was there. Only the sound of soft sobbing carried by the wind. Chapter 5, The Eternal Vow Claims. The stories grew darker. Those who lingered too long by the river sometimes disappeared. Days later, their bodies would be found downstream, always in pairs, their hands clasped tightly together, their faces frozen in expressions of terror. The sheriff once said, "It's the river's curse. That oak tree keeps their souls. The vow they made was too strong to die." Locals began avoiding the river after dark. Truckers driving past Ashwood at night warned each other never to stop if they saw a woman in white by the roadside. Chapter 6. The Stranger's Investigation. In 1995, a journalist named Claire visited Ashwood. She was writing a book on haunted towns and was drawn to the legend of the Eternal Vow. One evening, she walked to the oak tree with her tape recorder. The river shimmered under the moonlight, and the air was unnaturally still. She pressed record and spoke softly. "This is Claire Adams. I'm investigating the ghostly bride of Ashwood River." The tape hissed. Then faintly a voice whispered back, "Promise me forever." Claire froze. She scanned the trees, but no one was there. She raised the recorder again. "Who are you?" she whispered. The tape crackled. Two voices answered, overlapping. One male, one female. "Forever, together." Suddenly the water rippled violently, though no wind blew. Claire's flashlight flickered, and then she saw them. A bride and groom standing beneath the oak, hand in hand. Their eyes were empty black voids, their faces stretched in unnatural smiles. Evelyn's voice echoed directly into Claire's mind. "True love never dies. Come with us." Claire screamed, stumbling backward. She ran all the way back to town. But when she replayed the tape later, her own voice was gone. Instead, all it recorded was two voices whispering over and over. "Forever, forever, forever." Chapter 7. The Final Legend. Today, Ashwood is nearly abandoned. Few dare to live near the cursed river. The oak tree still stands, massive and ancient, its roots reaching deep into the soil where two lovers were bound by an eternal vow. On stormy nights, travelers who pass through hear the whispers. Some even see the figures, Evelyn in her wedding gown, Daniel by her side, both waiting beneath the oak. Their love was so strong it defied death itself. But what was once pure devotion has curdled into something dark, something hungry. The legend says that Evelyn and Daniel cannot rest until another couple willingly joins them in eternity. That is why they whisper to young lovers who pass by, "Promise me forever." And those who answer, even in jest, vanish, pulled into the river, bound together in death. The oak tree watches, the river takes, and the eternal vow never breaks. Epilogue. In the county records office under missing persons reports, a strange pattern exists. Every few years, pairs of names are written, always couples, always found by the river, their hands still locked together. Locals don't need records to know the truth. They warn newcomers with a single phrase passed down for generations. Never make promises by the Ashwood River. The lovers are still listening. And somewhere on the stormy nights beneath the oak tree by the dark river, two souls whisper together in the wind. Forever, together, forever.